Saturday morning, March 14th, Oregon United States Senator Jeff Merkley was in Corvallis at the Corvallis Library to hold a town hall. Questions from the audience included topics on Citizens United, immigration, and climate change.
What's your position on immigration?
Okay, so that's a broad way to place the question, and so I'll do a little interpretation on it. We have a broken immigration system. Let's start there. It's been broken for a very long time, and the Senate came together 2 years ago and produced a framework by 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans, and said, hey, here is a strategy in which we can address most of the major issues that are part of the immigration system, from the visas that are needed for different parts of our economy, to fairness for those who are dreamers, who have grown up in America, certainly more enforcement at the borders, more enforcement at the point of employment, a system that will address the challenge of folks overstaying visas. So all the major identified pieces that weren't working. And that passed the Senate with substantial bipartisan support. And then it went over to the House, and the House decided not to put up the bill for a vote or to even put it up for committee work. It just died in the House. And that's very unfortunate, because I think
the feeling, particularly over climate change, of the people on the ground, that this is a true emergency.
I think it would be fair to say that citizens across the country, and particularly our younger citizens, are way ahead of the U.S. Congress in terms of understanding the dangers proposed and the need for urgent action. You mentioned the 350, which is parts per million for carbon pollution in the atmosphere. And the organization 350.org came about because of the argument we need to not exceed 350 to keep our pollution under the 4 degrees Fahrenheit I was referring to, or the 2 degrees centigrade. I cannot give you a good prognosis that is going to pass. It takes a supermajority in the House and Senate, and we could not get a simple majority for it at the moment. A second is to pass it, don't take, require legislative action. And one of these would be for the Securities Exchange Commission to say, if you are the owner of a company, you are a stockholder, you are a owner, you have a full right to know how they spend their money on political activity, including donations and lobbying. So I had pushed the SEC to put this on their rules-making agenda. They put it on their rule-making agenda, and then under pressure from companies that don't want to disclose their political activities, they took it off. If you look at the reasoning behind even the Supreme Court majority's argument, that argument should convey, in this case, it should convey that if you are an owner and your money is being spent, that is your speech, you should have a right to know what your speech is, or it's stolen speech. So we actually have stolen speech going on in this country. Your money being spent without your permission on speech that you don't even know what is being said in the political context. And so the SEC has failed us, but they still could act. It takes the chair of the SEC to put a proposed rule on the agenda. So that's the pressure point. And then there's the 501c4 charitable organization structure. And the law says that the funds donated to a 501c4 must be spent exclusively on charitable activities. And then there is a rule with the IRS that says exclusively means primarily. Now that's Orwellian. That's like having a rule that says 100% means 50.1%. And so I've been pushing the president to have the Treasury Department change the rule and have the rule reflect what the law says. Change it from exclusively means primarily to exclusively means exclusively. But the president's team has not seen fit to act. But those are the 3 arenas of pressure. Behind that, it has to be grassroots effort, because you're taking on very powerful groups that don't want to change the current system.
This is Corvallis Tidbits. If you like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.